I wanted to explore my own truth, and that's why I opened up avenues into Zen and the teachings of the Zen masters. Will give you a deep contemplation about the essence of what you are. Like, who are you? In the essence, in the truth. And so every person, I believe, should explore this to uncover what and who they truly are, and then arrive at the place. Now, if what I arrived at suits you, take it. If it doesn't, don't. So what I arrived at, in my understanding, is that I'm a Muslim. First of all, what is a Muslim? Muslim, if you look at the word, it means someone who submits. Someone who acknowledges that they don't know everything. That there is a power higher and greater than them. And they accept the will of this power, in my interpretation. Of course, Arabic is so vast that every time I say, you'll take it to pieces and say, no, it doesn't mean this and that, and that's fine. So then, if for me I'm a Muslim, does that mean that I have now excluded myself from the rest of humankind? So I can't look at anything a Hindu says or a Jew says or anything else like that? Of course, a lot of Muslims feel we're superior, we know better, and these people don't. And I'm of the opinion, no, we don't know better. We have a teaching and it's beautiful, but there's no way I'm going to be carrying around this belief that I know better and everybody else is just rubbish. So that's, again, my interpretation. So I started exploring far and wide into the meaning of life, of essence, looking at different teachings, look at different parts, personalities, and what makes me come alive. What makes me come alive is not what makes me happy, because happy is a fleeting emotion. You know, you eat an ice cream, you're happy. Someone steps on your toe, you're unhappy. So what are you chasing after? It's something that is a constant goalpost. So you say, I'll do what makes me happy for the moment. If you love pizza and you've been deprived pizza, eat pizza for 24 days and see if you love pizza after that. So does it still make you happy? Because anything that makes you happy one day will end up making you miserable another. You find that the irony of life. I'm an explorer. I'm an adventurer. I'm always looking at the deepest, most profound, most alive meaning of everything, whether it's a book or a walk in the park or company with my family. It's to really feel the aliveness of everything. And for me, Islam, if it was this dead, archaic relic of the past, that especially if you look at a lot of the scholars today and the leading and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe they are all these great people that are inspiring people and showing people the living Islam. I thought, no. Maybe Islam's not for me. And now people say, well, that's haram. How can you say that? But if you don't ask that question, you don't know what you have. And that's why you see people who take on Islam, they are in it 100% because they've done the exploration. They've looked at all the different places and they've said, no, I like this. And some people haven't liked this and some people have moved away. And so again, the teaching is not what makes you incredible. The becoming Muslim doesn't automatically guarantee happiness in Jannah and all the rest of the joys. It is an opportunity to discover through Islam yourself. Islam is a self-exploration. So you have to go undertake your own journey and go look out there and ask yourself the question, why is Islam good for me? Why is Islam beneficial for me? Why have I chosen Islam? Because a lot of us just are born with it. Why not go and ask the question? Go and explore. Who's stopping you? Go and look at the texts of the Buddhists and the Hindus and the Christians, and they're all very useful information. They are. Take from it. Why not? I don't see a problem with it. We don't have to be rigid in it. And then look at what the Quran has, and look at what the Sahaba have, and what the Hadith says. And if that resonates with you, say yes. But don't believe somebody else's story. Write your own story. That's what Rumi says. He says, live your own myth. Stop listening to other people's stories. So then when I explored Islam, the one part that I found that was really appealing is what they call Sufism. Now, Sufism has been taken out of context, even out of Islam. They've created a religion called Sufism. There is no Sufism without Islam, because Islam is sort of the container for what we call Sufism, or Tasawwuf is a more correct word. Now, Tasawwuf is the exploration of the divine within you. So it's not something to be excluded from everything else. You see, that's where you have the outward, And that's your outward form, the Sharia and the requirements and all the rest of it, which is so perfect because I've explored so many different cultures and teachings. There's some very perfect things in other cultures. For instance, if you go to a Buddhist temple, you'll see all the shoes lined up perfectly. And then I saw a picture of someone in the mosque, and you see people and there's just shoes everywhere. And you look at that and you say, well, if you're living Islam, you're going to put your shoes right. So it's got no reflection to do with Islam. Now, somebody could look at them and go, oh, well, look at the Buddhists. They're so disciplined. And they are. And you look at Muslims and they're chaotic. Again, you're forming judgment. So as much as I say that Muslims are biased towards their teachings, many people are. So we can't be like everybody else and say we're correct and they're going to hell and we're going to heaven and we got the right teaching and they don't. And if you look deeply into the ayahs of the Quran and you see the profound nature of the words and you explore deeply into the symbolism and you look at the Arabic and you look at the ancientness of it and how these ayahs were revealed and the context and all the rest of it, if you have the right vision and the right eye, you'll see truth everywhere. And the path of Zen is the path of no mind. You basically look at any bias you form and discard it. What is this? I don't know. I discard it until you arrive at an unconditioned mind, a mind that is so free of conditioning that it's the childlike mind. The child sees things with a freshness, unbiasedness, unjudgmental, just what it is. You see a beautiful human being, you don't even, of course, the word beautiful is biased, but you look at the human being and you say, that's beautiful. Now, of course, if you go to Instagram and you look at all these people and say, now scroll left or whatever you call it, because that person's not beautiful. Again, that's your conditioned bias. Now, if you apply that as a Zen practice and you say, why is that ugly? Why is that beautiful? You're looking now into yourself and looking at all your biases. And that's wrong and that's right. Why? So discard it, both right and wrong. This is what Rumi says. Beyond right and wrong, there is a garden. I'll meet you there. Now, we're not talking about the rules and the laws. Keep all of that. Nobody's asking you to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So when you arrive at the childlike mind, the fresh, virgin mind, the unconditioned, that the eyes light up, the soul lights up, adventure lights up. This is what the Zen teaching is about. So Thomas Cleary explored all these different teachings on Zen, on Buddhism, on Chinese Taoist teachings. And of course, if a man truly explores and discards all his conditioning and he sees Islam, how's he going to look at it? What kind of eye is he going to look at it? With an eye of bias and labeling, oh, that's not Buddhism, that's not Zen. He looked at Islam, he looked at the Quran and said, this is beautiful. I think this is phenomenal. These words are profound. He went and studied Arabic. He translated the Quran, one of the most magnificent translations. He did a talk on women. Hamza Yusuf interviewed him. Blew my mind. And so Thomas Cleary, if you approach yourself from this naive, fresh perspective, there's no way you can't see the beauty of Islam. You can't see the profound truth of it. You can't. But if you come from a conditioned mind, then you're going to be labeling everybody else, including your religion. So I had to unlearn everything, discard everything, the whole thing out, fresh, brand new, start again. Let's bring Islam into perspective from no mind, fresh mind. And I said, oh, look at this. My heart likes this. And even the punishment, even the limits, even the restrictions, there's such beauty in it. There's such coordination and perfection. You see the funeral processions, the beauty of, the hadith says that there's reward in you attending the funeral. Because when you see a funeral and, my good friend passed away, because there's reward, part of human nature is that we like reward. People go to the funeral for the reward. But what comes out of it is such beautiful magnificence. And when they make it compulsory to go to the prayer, you go to the prayer and you see all your brothers and all your sisters and you feel connected again. So it's like there is benefit in it. And now it's not even right and wrong. This is so beneficial to you. When you restrict the sexes and you limit your interactions, when you eat the good quality food, not the MJC labeled KFC food, right? But stuff that is wholesome and nourishes, halal wal tayyibah, it nourishes you. There is benefit in this. When you avoid eating certain unclean animals, it's good. But this is coming in from a oh no, it's haram. We don't want to know. It says haram, we're leaving it. And I think that's really undermining your intelligence. Rather than you keeping a record book and go, well, how many sawab is that? That's 40, okay? According to that, that's 40. And if I cut a sheep, then that's 1,000. And then you're becoming an accountant, right? Which is so undermining your intelligence. But if Allah is offering you a reward and say you will go to Jannah because it's good for you, Allah's not sitting there going, thank God he did that. I would be so angry if he didn't do that. Like Allah's sitting here with all these emotions going good, bad, throw him in hell, throw him in heaven. And he's sitting there laughing. I mean, it undermines your intelligence. So if something is good for you, and you eat well, and you attend the funeral, and your heart opens up, when you see your fellow brothers and sisters, when you're in nature, where does it forbid you to go into nature? Because it's not in the Quran, we can't do it. Really? Or you sit and meditate and be still.